like with some fava beans and a nice Chianti.
I don't know
Anyway,
that. I don't know what that
welcome to another episode of the CapmLew podcast.
Yes.
We're just going to entitle this podcast Damage Control.
Yeah, right. We got some PR work to do.
I have no idea what I said in my last podcast, but it has caused major just turmoil and conflict in my life.
Gosh, dude.
I got fired from Life Skateboards, kicked out.
Oh, wow.
No.
Oh, cool. This is interesting.
I don't remember what we said in our last one, but I do know that we entitled it Life Skateboards is a Hypocrite. That was meant as a joke.
Yeah, because
Because
Thrasher's a hypocrite.
they're not.
And then we're a hypocrite. And
Oh.
then Life Skateboards. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
I
I thought that was the point of the whole
Yeah,
episode is that
Yeah.
on the very most ragged, jagged, and rough edges of it.
Motherfucker.
What's
I'm
wrong?
blinking. Are you blinking?
No.
Hold on. Ah!
Oh, you had hit pause.
I hit pause on the. Why does
Well,
it do that?
Theoretically, you were very profane.
I was. Maybe
You
the Holy Spirit
said
put his hand
so
on me.
many curse words.
I said two.
They're all
maybe
on
four.
They all came through on mine,
Dang
probably.
it, dude.
It's okay. We'll fix it in post.
Pull me into a tribunal. Just get it over with.
Not for you. You're going the long road.
Yeah, you're going the long road.
You're going the long road to Golgotha.
Yeah.
So anyways, yeah.
We spent time, you know where we landed, episode 105?
Luke, I don't.
Life Skateboards is a Hypocrite. We landed largely in the realm of saying, you know how you can tell what a good company is? It's you can look.
Because they call you on your crap.
Because they call, yeah. You know what
the thing I love about Tammy
is she calls me on my crap. You can see whether a company has character or not based on the way that they handle situations in which they're missing their own mission. So we spent time talking about that and the way that Life Skateboards had handled moments where they had not reached their, apogee,
the pinnacle of public integrity.
Which was good, I thought.
I got to tell you, I don't even require that. I have a pretty low baseline.
Yeah, dude, you are a classic example of keep your expectations low and you'll never be disappointed.
What you do is you keep your expectations low, but you keep your standards high for yourself.
Powder dry, yeah.
For yourself, you keep your standards high, but for others, you keep your expectations low. I think it'd be if a person were principled.
Mm-hmm.
In my life, the order of my principles comes from the experience that follows believing the message of the scriptures. Yeah. That's me.
You'll have that.
And so for myself, I have these really high, even unattainable standards. And I rely on the power of the Holy Spirit to change me and help me to live a life that is beyond the bounds of my sinful frame, my carcass drag. So that's me in a nutshell.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to everyone else around me, the attitude that I carry in me is that the same mercy and grace I depend upon in the failing stumble walk of my life,
mm-hmm.
the mercy and the grace I receive from the Lord is what I'm supposed to, and the love is what I'm supposed to be extending to other people. And I was God's enemy.
True that.
Before when he snatched me up.
True that.
And if he loved me when I was his enemy,
mm-hmm.
how well should I love people who are just struggling like I am, confused?
Yeah.
Like, why would you be mad at someone for being confused? Have I not been confused? Yeah. But people love to be mad at other people when they decide and judge that they're confused.
Bro.
They love to take those opportunities. But in regard to this, when it comes to skateboard stuff, when you hear me, because I get feisty about the skateboarding industry, and I think we all should be much more feisty and be so much less loyal to our corporate overlords than is the I don't think we should play nicely when,
No.
especially when certain
No.
pioneers have gone and I'm listing myself in there.
Go ahead.
I am.
Yeah.
I'll cop to some, I'll cop to some vulnerability to the charge of self-aggrandizement. But
It was ad copy.
you've got these folks who've actually made alternatives.
Yeah.
When I first came into the Cincinnati area in 2000, I found it ridiculous that people would color between the lines that were drawn by thuggish, grumpy, unfriendly, and that they would speak in such glowing terms of such corporate,
Dude.
just completely,
Dude.
I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
And I spoke from that.
Yeah.
I tend to speak from where I'm at, and I spoke from that. I was like, you're kidding me, right? Dudes who turned themselves pro and then were called broadly the first pro from the area. Like, you can't be seriously asking me not to pounce. Like, you can't.
Hold on, rewind. Did that really happen? I knew the first part, but I didn't know the second part.
See, the thing is, Luke, you've known me for a decade. You've known me for a decade, and you've heard this story. The problem is that, the human mind just literally
cannot
even.
Hold on, I have really never heard the second part.
Well, I'll tell you a story. Allow me to regale you, dear
Regale
listeners.
me, dude.
Allow me to
There's
regale
no
you.
way that happened, dude. That cannot be possible. He turned himself pro.
Is exactly what I said.
That is the dumbest shit
in a skate shop
I've ever fucking heard in my life.
In a skate shop, I'm standing there as a new guy. It's 2000, maybe 2.
Yeah.
I don't know, 2000.
Baker 2 had just come out.
I don't know.
Go ahead.
And the kind of skateboarder that I am, and have always been, is like, I just want to ride the skateboard, have fun. I love skateboarding. I love good skateboards.
Yeah.
And the local skate shop is like the guy behind the counter. He's one of these kind of lower level mid-managers of culture.
Mm-hmm.
He's explaining to me, like, you want to buy this brand because this is the first pro in Cincinnati. And I'm like, oh, sweet. What brand is this? And he tells me the brand. And it's like, this was early in the days of local brands. It was not done.
Sure.
It wasn't done. And the tale's old as time was told that this guy had ridden for.
I'll be right back.
Yeah, sure. The guy had ridden for a California brand, and that he was a Midwest rider for Flow and AM.
Yeah,
and they didn't turn him pro.
Yeah.
So this is what's being told to me. They didn't turn him pro, so he came back here, and he became pro on a local brand, and I'm like, and he started the brand, and I was like, and the guy literally said, so he came back here and turned himself pro. And the first board out was with his name model on it. My response, coming from New York, and coming from I'd been in the South, I'd been in California, I'd been a lot of places, and my response as just a skateboarder, was like, how is that not like one of the most bogus and ridiculous things? I laughed and I said, are you serious? Dude. He turned himself pro?
Yeah.
It's better to let someone else praise you,
Yeah, right.
And better to take the seat at the back and be called up to the front than to pull yourself up to the front and wind up in the back. And I'm not saying that I wish such a thing for anyone, but I was like, you're kidding me, right?
Come on,
this is like the premier, that word all the time.
Premier.
The premier skateboard shop, and the premier skateboard brand, and the premier and all this stuff, and tossing around made in Cincinnati and stuff like that. And in 2002, I was just raising my kids. My kids were, I had a 2-year-old.
Yeah.
I had a 3-year-old. I had a 3-year-old kid. I didn't care, know. But when something's ridiculous, I tend to, it shows on my face.
Yeah.
And especially in skateboarding, which how important is this? It turns out the guy goes, hey man, hey, you need to be careful what you say. And I was like, careful what I say?
Is it like that?
This is Cincinnati, Ohio. Like, how careful do I have to be? Is someone going to say something mean about me?
I've come to the butthole of America. What do I have to
Oh
do?
no, that's Toledo and Akron.
Oh, I forgot. Yeah, we're just north of or south of the. Anyway, it's
No
fine.
offense intended to our Toledo and Akron audience.
They're probably like, you know what? He's totally right.
That's what I was going to say next.
Yeah.
Even though I'm right.
Yeah, right.
So anyway, there I am in the skate shop. And
Yeah.
I'm being warned and
Yeah.
admonished by the eager beaver behind the counter, who
Right.
is on the come up with the culture. I think he's a
Gestapo behind the
he's
counter.
like a graffiti culture guy, and like they managed this whole. They had this whole thing going where they had this vibe like they were moguls and cartel, and like just not like
Yeah, right.
that they were a big deal.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is some big fish, small pond
Yeah.
action.
Right.
Like, and so 2002, that was before Facebook.
Yeah.
Well, fast forward to 2008, and that very same turned myself pro, started my own brand guy
Mm-hmm.
is literally not making fun of, but just like cutting down the big kid at the park
Mm-hmm.
who happened to be my own son.
Yeah.
After like he said hi to my little son, he said hi to my bigger son,
Yeah.
but my biggest son, he just cut him down savagely.
Yeah, no.
Get out of my way, FS something.
Whoa,
SHIT
dude.
something.
Yeah.
I didn't know it because my son at the time was old enough to know one thing from another, and he went and sat at a picnic table, and I went over after the session was over.
Yeah, sure.
Guy was gone.
Yeah.
I was at Clippard. It was
Yeah.
when Clippard
Oh,
was
yeah.
brand new. And now my oldest and biggest son,
Mm-hmm.
he's not white.
No.
And I wondered if that guy greeted my one son and my other son knowing that they were, quote, mine, unquote.
Oh, I see.
But my eldest son, I don't think that man knew
That he
that
was.
kid was with me.
Yeah, right.
So I'm not the kind of guy that's going to go fisticuffs
No.
about something like this. That's ego.
Yeah.
But I was concerned that we have this culture, because from 2002 to 2008,
Yeah.
I'd seen it. But we have this culture, man. I mean, they even ran an ad where they break a kid's board, throw it in the river just for being the wrong brand, and they don't give them a freshie of their brand.
No.
Like, it could have been a good ad.
Yeah,
You know,
it could have been kind of cool. Yeah, a little
could have-
edgy, edgelord. Yeah.
It could have,
Yeah.
but it didn't have it. They claimed later that was what do you call it? Satire.
I mean,
But satire has to create tension that it then
releases, right?
Yeah.
Right.
This
Just
this
created
kept
tension
you
and left
there,
it.
and the
Right.
catchline was "Don't get caught riding some bullshit."
Right.
Like, we are the local brand. If we catch you riding the wrong brand, we're gonna stomp your deck. We're gonna throw it. 4 guys on 1 guy.
There we go.
Like,
Hell
this
yeah.
is really the way that Cincinnati's OG. These are the historic founders and grandfathers of skate culture in Cincinnati. And I bet you that there are listeners out there who can relate to this in their own scenes, because from that time, I began to post these PSAs.
Yeah.
Sanitized. Hey, kids and big kids. Just really quick, if you own a skate shop, or if you turned yourself pro, or if you have a local brand, or you used to be AM for a California company, or you used to be pro, anything like that, you are on watch for great behavior. You are supposed to be the example you want to be treated like. You want to be one of the founding fathers of your local skate scene, then act like a good dad.
Yeah.
Not a bad dad.
Come on, man.
So I started throwing out these PSAs.
Yeah.
Sure enough, I mean, I don't understand whether this is just strong ego overcoming intelligence. I don't understand why a guy who is right in the crosshairs of a sanitized PSA would jump on that PSA
in the comment thread,
self-identify, and begin to rally his immense network of support.
Yes.
Immense network of support that ran all the way to California. It wasn't long before a filmer for Habitat was on my feed calling me Jim Jones
There he is.
and saying that I was a cult leader and
Yes.
just all of this really horrible, dark stuff.
Right.
And I was like, this guy's hurting me, and it hurts.
You're hurting me.
And
You're hurting me.
and he did was I mean, this guy's amusing me, and I'm amused. What was and they stopped doing that because every time, I presume it's because every time they did it, I just stayed on message.
Yeah, right.
We are now publicly corresponding about public behavior done by public people,
Right.
even though I ethically sanitized my output to an audience that is nationwide and even has foreign viewers on my personal social media.
Right.
Why are you guys self-identifying?
Yes.
And then further, why would you vindicate the scenarios? They called it throwing shade.
Yeah, or shit talk.
They did call it that
Yeah,
too.
which is a lovely term.
And I think, and I did back then, I made that distinction. Like, there's a difference between what you guys call shit talking, which is valueless,
Yeah.
scandalizing for attention,
Right.
right?
Yeah, right.
And talking about this giant mountain
Yeah.
of choleric pollution,
Yeah.
just running like a river through our culture.
Choleric pollution.
Are you thinking that nobody is ever going to put two and two together and say the emperor has no clothes on here?
Come on, man.
Well, that escalated. Not quickly, but it escalated to the
Yeah.
point of very extreme violence, very volatile situations, and that was insane. Now, word on the streets is that I got slapped. No way, dude.
No, is it?
No.
You don't think so?
Keeps it from buzzing.
Oh, is it buzz if it gets
I don't know.
closer?
I'll hold it closer now, and we'll see.
Let's see. Okay. All right. I just
Yeah,
wanted
when
to
I
make sure
do-
they could hear you.
When I do S's, it overloads.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I think if I eat the mic, it gets real hot. That's it.
It's a hot mic.
This is me, CapmLew.
Coming to
I'm
you
all
hot.
up in your business. So, yeah, it got really heavy. Word on the streets is that I got smacked in the face.
Yes.
And that's what shut me up. But
Yes.
what actually happened, as a matter of court record, is that I was surrounded by 14 dudes plus one very angry former. He's presently got a board out of San Francisco. I mean, he's a big deal.
Yeah.
And he said that if I embarrassed him again,
Mm-hmm.
if I embarrassed him again, that he would come to my home and he would murder me.
Yes.
A couple weeks after that, he was also involved in a very violent interaction, which is typical for him. In fact, he just had an interview on Talking Schmidt,
Yeah.
in which he declared himself to be a real pussycat, and then described just weeks ago violently using violence to cause a neighbor to move away.
Oh my gosh, dude.
Dude, it's like,
why?
this is what it's like.
Yeah, right.
When the skateboarding industry, like, dried up, brittle old men,
yeah,
with these massive egos,
right,
run your culture. Oh, let me say it better. This is what you get when you, dear listener, idolize people of low character. You get, that could have been a terrible, terrible thing. But what I did was, by the way, when you're threatened by one crotchety old pro from the 90s, or
Yes.
two, one of whom turned himself pro,
yes,
that's not the real problem. The real problem is that through all the layers of social strata, there is an element that gets activated, and they begin to attempt enforcement.
right.
I kept trying to go to local skateboarding events, screenings and t-shirt release parties, whatever. I was in the industry, so I wanted premieres,
just
right?
any premiere,
right?
Documentaries
by ourselves, about ourselves, 2 years after the beginning of a project.
right.
Um,
A
they
mid-level
they
project.
left out the child abuse scandal
Yeah, right.
entirely. There was
Yeah.
a sex abuse scandal here locally in the
Ah,
Cincinnati scene that got absolutely forcefully erased
yep.
on threat from the shop owner,
Yep.
himself turned pro.
Yes.
You know, you have this, and it's like, why are you digging this up, Lou? Tell you why. Because the only way you make things like this harder to have happen again
Yeah.
is by discussing them.
Yes.
And so I would try to go to events, and I got assaulted twice or three times. And when I say assaulted, I mean there's verbal assault. Two times I got shoved.
Yeah.
And shoving is assault. And it's not just technically assault. Let me tell you how shoving works.
Okay.
One time with two guys, one time with three guys. I can't remember. And I don't have video. So this is, maybe someone was with me and they could corroborate. But a guy bumps or shoves you
Does it seem like
in
it's an
the.
accident or
No,
could
it
be
doesn't.
construed
It
as an
doesn't
accident?
because then they square up.
Okay.
Yeah, shove and square up.
But do they act like you were in their way, but they hit you intentionally?
No,
Okay.
they shove you
And then they look
and
at
then
you.
they look at you.
Okay, it's one of
Okay.
those, yeah.
So what that is if I have the intention of ego violence, or if
Hmm.
I'm given to flying off the handle,
Right.
then I've got three young dudes in front of
Hmm.
me who would all love to be the guys who got a piece of the guy
Right.
that their favorite
Who
pro
talked all that shit?
local legend
Right.
said was a shit talker.
Yes.
Meanwhile, they themselves are slandering and defaming,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
Um, and but I'm not a shit talker. I'm a guy who wants to talk about. These are things that reduce the value of our character and our
Hmm.
culture. And I'm just not the kind of guy who can let that slide without saying, hey,
Yeah.
just really quick.
Yeah,
That's
right.
me.
Yeah, literally,
I'm
I
the
know.
hey,
Yeah, hold on.
just really quick. So you're telling me that I'm that
Yeah,
guy.
yeah, 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 yeah.
And if this is how they treat that guy,
Oh, yeah.
well, it's no wonder everyone mindlessly worships these
Yes.
these men
Yeah.
and will toe the line and not talk about this, not talk about that, not letting. Meanwhile, privately, I have people coming up to me all the time. This didn't help.
Yeah.
Tell me what a good guy I am.
Yeah. I'm so happy you're doing what you're doing.
Yeah,
Keep it
I
up.
got lots of that. And I'd like to
Yeah.
speak to the people who've come up to me privately and told me what a good guy I am.
I'd love to skate your DIY.
I'd like to tell you, I'm not thanking you. You should have been a good guy too.
Yeah.
Everyone should stand up and say, hey, you can't say that about a dude unless you've got receipts.
Yeah.
You don't get to call a guy a criminal, an embezzler.
Yeah.
I was called an embezzler.
Yeah.
That was one of the first ones. Or you don't get to say someone's not really a skateboarder.
Right.
You need to get to work at that
Or
level, at the
or
shop and culture level. That
yeah.
shouldn't be going on.
Right.
That's like 12-year-old stuff.
Yeah. Or a child predator. That one was real rough.
Well, what really was tough here in Cincinnati is that there was a situation that I allege,
Hmm.
although it's on court record
Yeah, I don't
too.
know if we have to allege it.
Not that there's going to
Yeah.
be. There's a million City Beat magazine articles about this skate shop
Yeah.
that are just glowing.
Yeah.
And then I met with a reporter who does them all.
Yeah.
Okay, and I said, hey, here's the real story.
Yeah.
Why don't you, now that you've done all these glow ups for them, why
Right.
don't you do an article about why they get to eat all the corn while we've got kids going hungry in the truth lane here
Yeah. Yeah.
about
Yeah.
what actually happened and what we as a community can do to make make it more dangerous for people who want to do that.
Yeah. Right.
That sort of thing gets short shrift with these good timer easygoers who want to just want to they see the skateboarding community as something they want to be part of.
Yes.
They want to take a part of it and use it to make themselves cool.
Right.
I mean, it.
Instead of being a part of it.
Listen, skateboarding stopped being cool a long time before these Casey Neistat Lululemon commercials have come out.
Bro. Yeah.
Where now skateboarding is being used to sell you Lululemon pants that are going to give you, I don't know, anus cancer.
Oh my gosh,
You know,
bro.
they have the off-gassing of their lycra material
Yeah,
is
it's like so
filled with
bad.
these chlorofluorocarbon,
Yeah, right.
like
Like forever plastics.
they're yes,
Do you want that in your butthole? Is that what you want?
that's what people want in their buttholes.
So how did the city dude respond to your conversation? He
Absolute,
just like went blank, I'm assuming.
yeah,
He was like,
just absolute zero.
but Lou, I like writing for fun and I like making friends. Like, oh, in that case, I'm so sorry.
I was like, there's actually a journalistic component to the history of skateboarding that's
Mhm.
never going to see the light of day. Even
Yeah.
I did a 2-hour interview with a very prominently placed person, and the material they shared with me was, I mean, the work it would take me to vet, corroborate,
Mhm.
source, and then publish, you know, and the absolute storm that it would bring, and the age of the things. Some of the crimes that he outlined were beyond statute of limitations, and others might have been unsolvable. I didn't
We
see
could
any way to publish it.
we could just clip a clip in the beginning of you saying, "This is all completely alleged."
No, I don't want to.
All right.
I feel like, well, what happened to me in 2013, 14 that
Mhm.
I endured under until 2019,
Mhm.
um, that, I mean, literally, Bill Danforth was telling me I needed to take them to law for
Yeah,
what they were
which is
doing.
insane
You know,
that
when you've
Bill
got,
Danforth would
yeah,
say that
when
to
you
you.
have Bill Danforth
Yeah, right.
personally telling you that you need to go to Johnny Law
Yeah.
and get the courts involved,
Yeah.
I mean, I thought I was losing it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That was a tough time.
that was on our Day of the Dead tour with the bus
Yeah. He was
back
like,
in
"Bro, you should go to the cops."
2013. Um, yeah, he said you need to get legally active about this, and I did. That was
Yeah.
2013, I think. 2014 was when uh it was September 2014 when I was surrounded in a group of witnesses. Simultaneously, they were knocking down my favorite rider,
Yeah.
Donnie.
Right.
Same guy, sponsored by that same shop, knocking down Donnie 3 times in a row, 5 months off the board, back injury, and stood over him and said, I can't remember now. I've got it. I've got the receipts on it.
Yeah. It
Then
gets
they denied
crazy.
it. Then they admitted it. Then they admitted it. Then they admitted it. Then they sort of half apologized, but then they doubled down on, and what you're looking at is actually a lot of it's the effect of drug use, the pills,
Yeah.
the cocaine,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
the really, these guys are not okay. And
Right.
I actually care about
Yeah. Right.
whether they'll be okay.
I know long term. Right.
Even the like ridiculous behavior and flow,
Mhm.
the decision tree
Yeah.
of these people who've caused damage and have made it easier for sex abuse and things like this to happen in our community.
Yeah.
um, I care about them too.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
And I, I'm not even like, I'm sad, but that sad doesn't turn to mad.
Hmm.
And that's because of what we started off with, that I found grace and mercy in my life. It's from Jesus.
Hmm.
And so I don't see these people as like horrible monsters. I know what the horrible monsters are. And these people have been trapped to serve the horrible monsters. And
Hmm.
it's very sad to me.
It is.
And if they ever do wind up following through, and I guess so, beating my teeth out of my head, breaking my neck, gouging out my eyes, no, squeezing my neck till my eyes came out of my cheek,
Yeah.
all these
Right.
great things they've promised all their Twitter followers that they'll do to me.
Yeah.
you know well, like you get a San Francisco pro
Right.
guy of ancient reputation. He says, I'm going to choke him till his eyes come out on his cheeks.
There it
That's
is.
from
Yeah.
the thread that
Yeah.
he had to take down because Bill Danforth prevailed upon me to do a cease and desist and to put on record that had happened.
Sure.
Right. Well, that's not good, and it feels bad.
Yeah.
But then you follow it up. What happens is, like I said, there's 130, 180 younger men,
I thought it
even
was more
older
like
men.
40. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you would think it'd be
Yeah.
a 40, but if they got a chance
You really think it'd
to
be that
slash my
many?
tires or to take my boots off
Yeah. I
my
mean, 40 is
motorcycle and put
enough.
them in the
Yeah.
trash,
Right. Yeah.
or
Yeah. Yeah.
well, I was surrounded by 15 men.
Yeah. Right.
They were all grown
Yes.
men.
Yes. Yeah.
One
I'm
of the
just, I'm
one
just,
of the guys with me was afraid to be a witness in court.
yeah, even be a witness,
He was
right?
terrified.
Yes.
He was absolutely terrified
Yeah.
of the social cost, and I don't know if he
Yeah.
was terrified of violence,
Right.
but he was certainly incapable of it.
Right.
So the reason I went to court about that is, oh, okay, all right. So a guy starts to talk about things aren't right,
Yeah.
but then the guy makes a brand,
Mm-hmm.
makes presses,
Yeah.
forms a team,
Right.
fills a van,
Right.
gets a bus,
Yeah.
going on tour,
Yeah.
begins to build
Yeah.
what it was in the beginning.
Yeah.
You know, Mike Ternasky was not a great skateboarder, and
Mm-hmm.
neither am I.
Hmm.
And Jim Thiebaud also was not a premier skill level skateboarder.
Yeah.
Both of them were better skateboarders than I am. I'm no Mike T or Jim T.
Sure.
But guys like us, the second, third string choice for the team,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of times we come with other gifts.
Yeah.
And mine was to recognize a need and then to, well, if it's a need for truth, to speak truth. But then if it's a need for alternative, to create the alternative, build presses.
Yeah.
You know, my first round of boards were rough, but not my second, and that was only a few weeks later. You know, I had
To be
one.
fair.
I had one rider, a very sweet guy.
Yeah.
He was out of Knoxville,
Mm-hmm.
and he got the first boards I made, and they were rough around the edges. And he was like, "I can't do this," and I was like, "You know what? I respect that. Go,
Really?
yeah."
That's
He was good
hilarious.
enough to ride for like a big company,
Sure.
and I like
Not
what.
in not in like
No, they were ugly.
they were
They had
ugly.
rough edges.
Yeah,
No,
but
I'm
they
not.
lasted forever.
They did.
Still, the
They were
quality,
super good
yes,
quality.
the base quality was there. It was just the aesthetic of the board itself. Okay, that's a good clarification, I feel.
I appreciate more and more the situation that guys on my team were in,
Sure.
because I wouldn't stop speaking out.
Hmm.
I had one guy on my team um, publicly come on my Facebook and tell me, just go down in your basement and do your thing and stop talking about what's going on.
Sure.
And I let him know in public that
Yeah.
that's simply not an option. When you see this kind of stuff going on, you get to like 20, I guess it was 2012 when the sex abuse thing hit the thing. The big story is there was a sex abuse thing, but the even bigger story, the more important aspect, if you can say that,
Yeah, sure.
was the public declaration by the local pro
Yeah.
level that there will be no discussion.
Yeah, zero. None.
That
Right.
is
Get this shit off my
so
feet.
reprehensible, and
Yeah.
nobody reprehended it. Now, the
Right.
guy who ran the page,
Dude, good for him. Yeah.
no, I actually don't back what he did. What he did was he quietly stepped out of his position as the page runner.
No, he said publicly, "I can't do that. If we're not going to talk about this, I'm
I'm glad
not
you
going to do
remember
this. I'm done." Then I'm not saying that it was
That's
the most heroic
no,
thing, but
no.
I
To
think,
me, that's
yeah,
quietly backing out.
sure, right,
That's not saying you are
yeah,
wrong.
yes,
I'm
I
the
agreed,
page admin, and
agreed.
we are going there
Yes,
as a
agreed,
people.
agreed.
That's what, Luke.
Mm-hmm.
Sharpen up.
No, dude, I'm sharp. I'm just saying. I think that nuance is important.
That's you.
Gosh, dude, stop.
The right thing to do when you're talking about such things
Yeah,
is
is to hammer down.
Hammer
Yeah,
down.
absolutely.
Someone comes out and wants to use their power and their influence and
Mm-hmm.
their historic pedigree as the founder of Cincinnati skateboarding, the
Right.
great kingmaker.
He's the first pro, Lou.
And they want to turn himself pro.
Yeah.
It's amazing. I'm amazed. They want to come out and they want to say, no, there will be no discussion of what happened with Peter Martin in
Yes.
2012.
Right.
You know, there will be no discussion about the
Right.
other skateboarders who were involved around that. So there was an orbit of people involved around it. On and on. Like they're basically saying, no, we're not going to take this opportunity
Right.
to make it harder for this sort of thing to happen again.
Yes, correct.
We're not going to track the decision tree. And I think that's because I think
Yeah.
it's my opinion that usually in circumstances like that, with the experiences I've had, which are not, they are not as extensive as some, but they are
Sure.
much more extensive than others.
Yes.
I think that usually it's because they're just like cockroaches.
Yeah. You see
There
one?
are dirty deeds
Yeah.
that if they get exposed, there's
Yeah.
borderline and well beyond borderline party behavior
Yeah.
stuff among this upper echelon
Right.
of cool guys.
Right.
And I'm happy that Instagram happened, skateboarding opened up, the barracks rules got loosened.
Yeah.
You can be a no comply boneless skater now and even be sponsored pro.
Yeah.
And now shape boards are out, but we still haven't dealt with the insane culture of complicity around things like serious drug use,
Yeah.
underage drug use, alcohol, partying behavior,
Right.
and sex abuse.
Yeah.
We still haven't dealt with it.
Right.
And it's irksome.
I think probably the argument, I like thinking about it from their perspective because I think bringing that nuance in is helps us understand how these things happen. So their argument was probably this isn't the right place, right? Which is always
Yeah.
the style.
Yeah.
It's the style of argument that people bring who are doing exactly what you're talking about. Don't want things to come to light. They're never going to come out and say, "Oh, they almost did this time. They did this time." Very rarely do they come out and say, "We're not going to talk about this." Instead, what they'll say is, I can't believe you've brought this up at a family gathering. You're ruining Thanksgiving, or
You're tearing this family
you're
apart.
tearing this family apart. You're
Well,
being so disrespectful right now. It's never about the thing,
right. There is never a good
Never.
time to
Yes.
get real about this
Right.
stuff because there's nothing good
Yes. Right,
about it.
right.
If you're looking for good,
Yeah.
then I guess you're not going to find it because there is nothing good. This is like
Yeah.
those old maps.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Right.
at the edge of the map it would
Yeah.
say,
Like here
here
there
be
monsters.
dragons.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
You know,
Yeah,
here
right.
be dragons. We're
Right.
in the dragon zone. We're
Yes.
off the map.
Yes.
So, and honestly, the administrator of that page, by the way, he was not advocating for a Facebook discussion.
Yeah, he was just saying we just
He was
need to talk about it.
advocating for a forum of communication. All the skateboarding is a family. Skateboarding is a
Yeah,
family.
right.
Here's a guy calls a family meeting, and 3-4 days later, he's backing out of the family entirely.
Yes.
And
I agree with you completely that it was half steps the entire time with that guy.
and half steps always. The devil owns the fence, baby.
Yeah, I know.
The
It's
devil
tough.
owns the fence.
Right.
Half steps are exactly what predators of all types
Yes.
want.
Oh, they love that
They
shit.
know steps will be
Yeah,
taken, but as
right.
long as they're half steps,
Yeah.
they're perfectly happy.
Yeah.
What you want is you want to take the kind of steps that make those people perfectly unhappy.
Yes, 100%.
And when I say people, I also mean the beings beyond the seen realm
Yes.
who are actually violating
Yes.
in this. I have a
The code.
worldview in which there is an unseen realm, and people get snagged up by this unseen realm to do the will of beings who
Yeah.
exist in fundamental rebellion
Right.
to the order of God.
Yeah.
It's their gig, man. They love that crap.
Yeah.
So when I see someone who is abusive in these ways, and I don't just mean the sex abusers, I
Yeah.
mean the people who run half-step interference for them too.
Yes.
I see prisoners.
No.
I see
yeah,
people who've
absolutely.
been taken captive. I see things in a very strange way. So you'll get a weird thing with me, which is guys standing in front of me. I went to a premiere. I'm standing in front of I'm on Hamilton Avenue. I'm standing on a sidewalk, and there's a little man in front of me. He's all muscle.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he's mad as hell at me.
Yeah.
And Lord knows why.
Yeah.
I've never done anything wrong to this man.
Yes, it's been super cool.
I'd actually officiated his wedding.
Yeah, probably
And
getting
the
some
guy
water
is
sometime.
so angry at me. He's seething. He's like a bull.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, he's drunk and high.
Yeah.
And he's in the grip of powers that he doesn't even know. I don't even think he believes in them.
Yeah.
He feels them.
Yeah.
And he's standing there and he's about to charge me and rip me apart.
Yeah. Sure.
Which, that's okay.
Good luck.
No, I mean,
okay. there is an argument to be made just really quick that, yeah, good luck.
Well, I follow the guy who, when he lost, he won.
Yeah.
So I'm into losing fights. I have a special place in my heart for going ahead and losing the fight.
Yeah.
I can get a bridge for my teeth.
Oh,
I hope I don't get a terrible concussion or be killed.
Sure.
But that's the kind of thing these people do.
Yeah, for
That's the
realsies,
kind,
right,
and that's why people
right.
are afraid to really buck
Yeah,
against it. They're afraid to really buck against it. This is a system of thought
yeah,
and relationships and spirituality, and
yeah,
everything is spiritual. This is a system of spirituality that will not accept the existence
yeah,
of those who dissent.
yeah.
Won't accept their existence, and it will do whatever it can to stop them from being there.
Mm,
In my case, I'd have to say it was relatively successful because after 2015, end of 2015, I disbanded my team
mm.
with only 2 riders who insisted on still riding for my brand. One of whom Judiced up so hard within months. He Judiced so hard, dude.
Yeah,
Unbelievable. He was young.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
And he wound up Judicing so hard. And I think you guys know what I mean by that. Like he
yeah,
completely took that begging me to keep him on team
yeah.
and turned it into just an absolute fiasco. Even
Right.
he threatened me physically.
Did a 180. Was a
Um,
fat-headed flatty.
it was hilarious. I mean, he
Then
threatened me physically for about 10 seconds,
was like, okay,
pretending to be aggrieved
yeah.
with me. Um, it put a crimp in my hose on the respectometer for that young man, but he's not a young man anymore.
No,
He's not.
no.
He is now a grown man, and who knows what he's learned along the way.
Yeah,
And I'd like to find out
people change.
if I could be finding out that he had, you know, I don't know. It would be great to find out that he's come to some sense and come out of some of that fundamental folly.
Yeah,
Lots of people do and don't.
yeah.
I'll take it as it comes,
It's
but
fine.
I won't seek it out. Um, I've got plenty of people on the daily that um, I have to pay attention to.
Yeah.
So, but I wanted to say, so then life skateboards
All that to be said. To be
has
fair.
also created an alternative,
Yeah.
and has also uh, been willing to put out noise. Um, Not so much about some of these terrible. Actually, yes. I want to point something out. Casper from Life Skateboards
Mm-hmm.
came out against sex abuse in the skateboarding community
He
in the
did hardcore, man.
Indianapolis area,
Yeah.
and he freaking went to town,
Yeah.
um, exposing what had been being done.
Yeah.
And
Hardcore, bro.
yeah, and uh, I I like Life Skateboards because they. Am I perfectly satisfied with every single way that every single thing has been handled? Why would you
Yeah,
ask me that,
don't
you
even.
idiot?
You idiot. You're so dumb.
That is one of the dumbest questions I've been asked, and it's honestly shaken my confidence in you.
Dude.
Why would a person ask me that?
People they just like saw your face and interposed on your face was their stepdad. You need to go to counseling, dude.
Obviously, so do I.
Yeah.
No, ridiculous.
Yeah.
No, not even people who have been hacked off over any mistakes that have been made at Life Skateboards, which are, let me tell you, they don't hold anything in comparison to the kind of mistakes that have been made and hidden by your favorite brands.
Yeah,
The,
bro.
the kind of scrutiny and the kind of high standard application that you run into when somebody comes up over the radar with a truly high value brand in this industry is ridiculous.
It
It's
is insane.
ridiculous. Life Skateboards ain't kissing the ring, and and the I think that the right thing to do about the existence of a Life Skateboards is not to support them. It's support yourself with the value that they bring
Oh,
to your world.
look at that ad copy, bro. You can have a job like with Google, dude.
I have a job, and I do. I work for
And I
Life
technically,
Skateboards. When they bring on a guy and they say, "Hey, can you work PR for us?" Which is not exactly what I'm doing for Life Skateboards. Um, but when the thing about me is that I am an ideologue.
you son of a bitch, dude. How could you?
I am driven by an ideology. I
Dude,
am.
people using that as like a critique is the funniest
Yeah.
thing, dude.
And that was supposed to be
Yeah.
the end of
Like
me.
the cutting edge of the sword.
Yeah.
He's an ideologue.
He's an ideologue. You know, your problem is, Lou, you're an ideologue. So
Like,
you mean I'm driven by my ideas
yeah,
and
gosh.
that I have ideas
Yeah.
that track
Yeah.
as an identifiable worldview?
Right.
Is that
Starting as my worldview and branching out into the world. Yeah, this is a
and so
trip.
you're telling me that I have a consistent and identifiable idea set that you may or may not agree with that forms the basis of my decision tree and my actions. You're describing integrity.
Yeah.
You're describing a person who has integrated what they think
Yes.
with what they do
Right.
to a consistent level. You just don't like what I am. That's what it is.
Dude, yeah.
You don't like what I am. And it's like, well, Lou, I don't have any problem with people thinking sex abuse is wrong. But you have a huge problem with people calling it out.
Yeah, right.
A huge
Yeah.
problem,
Which
you
means
hide
right.
behind mealy mouth,
Yeah.
complicit compliance with a
Yeah.
culture that would rather have that
Right.
hidden or half-stepped.
Right.
I'm angry about that.
Yeah.
Am I angry at you? Sometimes I am angry with
Kinda.
people, but a lot of times I just feel real sad.
Yeah.
Um, not that looking down my nose at you sad, but that seeing myself in you sad, where I was like that, dude.
Yeah.
I'm not like that anymore and haven't been for like a while.
I am sympathetic as a guy who's been there, who's been the voice of reason in a room full of people who
You've torn
don't
your
like you,
family apart.
who has torn my family apart. I'm sympathetic to the difficulty that people are in, but I'm unsympathetic to the ultimate decision to just do nothing
Okay.
because the price
Yeah.
is so high. The price that you pay is so high. It's a poor investment, you know?
Yeah. Entertaining the notion that you won't have to pay the price
Yeah, it's so
is
dumb.
avoiding paying the price. You're going to pay the price.
As it compounds interest now, you
So
know what I
pick
mean?
what you pay for, because
Right.
what you pay for is what you own.
Yeah, it's like paying off credit card debt,
You
dude.
know, you might have like the happiest, nicest experience with all your friends,
Yeah, friends.
riding skateboards,
Yeah, right.
drinking 40s,
Drinking 40s.
at the schoolyard,
Yeah.
riding skateboards together on Wednesdays. Okay, you might have the nicest group
Yeah.
of friends, and so you decide like you're gonna make sure that you curb your real self
Yeah.
from them
Right.
in any way that will cause you to get into the crosshairs of their very stringent and highly judgmental
I know.
sensibilities.
I know.
Right, from what brand you're riding to that, you know, when they want to blacklist someone from the community. um, but I want to tell you, it's not whether or not I respect that. That's immaterial. You're going to own what you bought. When you are, if you get old and if you lie on a bed, you will be the owner of a complicit, saltless life.
Yep.
And that's really a bummer.
It's terrifying.
And honestly, bro, coming from where I'm coming from, since I'm an ideologue, my log of ideas as I go through it,
Yeah.
that doesn't play well in the judgment before God.
Yeah.
Like, I would definitely pick to buy something else. Now, the price of buying something else is that people who you already fear and don't respect, and you think you know that they're not good, are going to hate you and include you in those crosshairs. So, what? Well, maybe they'll beat you toothless, break your legs, throw your boots in the garbage, slash your tires. Maybe they'll uh, threaten publicly on 4 different social media things, all the way to Japan and California, that you're a criminal. Maybe they'll call you an embezzler. Maybe they'll accuse you falsely of sexual criminality.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, and that's really rough. It's very, very rigorous to be internet shamed.
Yeah.
It's very, very painful, and it was painful for me, and it would be painful for you.
Yeah.
But you know what? Don't be such a coward. Because everything else, all that going along to getting along, you're making it easier
Yeah.
for bad things to happen to children who lack judgment, who throw themselves in a mix at a party
Yeah.
where drugs and all sorts of stuff are going on. And not just children,
Yeah.
bigger children,
Yeah.
people who are adults who lack judgment, being victimized and turned out by honestly, by my Cincinnati, Northern Kentucky area, skateboarding has churned out a good number of people who've been coerced and used sexually, and not just heterosexually.
Yeah.
There are plenty of, currents
Yeah.
of things that'll happen at a party, and all of a sudden a person is shamed,
Yeah.
and they are locked in
Right.
to a narrative about their family
Right.
and skateboarding, all of which will leave you high and dry in your 30s,
Ugh.
by the way.
Yeah.
And some of these people are aging up and aging out.
Yeah.
And boy, are they mad at me for bringing this up.
They would much prefer to just leave this
Yeah.
in the past.
But you know what? This is what I do because I love you.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is what I do. Now, I was wanting to run some damage control over our last episode because our declaration that life skateboards is a hypocrite, that was tongue in cheek.
After our declaration that we were a hypocrite.
Well, that one
subsequent
also
to our
tongue in cheek.
Subsequent to our declaration that Thrasher is a hypocrite. It's 1, 2, 3.
Not so tongue in cheek.
Yeah, you get it. Come on, man.
We really think that we are not hypocrites. I know how cool it is to say, I'm a hypocrite too. But we, in regard to these matters, we do not view ourselves as hypocrites. We have put work in our lives to have some measure of integrity in the assertions that we bring to you in the skateboarding community. And this, by the way, transcends the skateboarding community. Turns out it's the human community that we're speaking to. We are capitalizing on our, involvement with, definitely not membership in, involvement with the skateboarding community as a foil to put out ideas that we would wish would make things better. That's what we thought.
Come on, man.
We thought they would. Now, getting a text from someone who wants to skateboard with me. Oh, they're going to meet us at the park. And I'm going to write, let me know. Let me know when. Oh,
that was beautiful.
Predictive text.
Thank you, AI.
Seriously.
Thank you, AI.
I'm so glad Google is watching.
I just feel safer with Big Brother above me.
It's fine. None of that is what's really going on.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
Well, I wanted to go into depth about the rise of right-wing politics in Argentina, Italy, France, and the Netherlands. But we had such much more important things to deal with than the rise of populist and nationalist politics in the world. So I guess we'll be leaving it at this.
Yeah, we'll just leave that right there. Holy moly, that took a turn quickly. I wonder if we could get online and look at the court documents on the Peter Martin thing. I'm sure we could.
There's so little. I've done the searches before. You can see what he's locked up for. And
I think you have to buy an account to look at the documents, which would almost be worth doing.
No, if we come to a point of wanting to right now, this is editorial opinion.
This is opinion-based, right?
And we can operate with great latitude in the realm of opinion and editorial. You don't like our podcast? You think we said something wrong? Well, you can jump on the Tik-Talks and you can bloop yourself some comments on there. Oh, how we would love that, which is probably why
you don't
doing it.
Yeah, right.
Right? You could start a nice big fight in there and just get the old. Let's go back to 2009.
Yes,
when people fought on the internet more
yes.
often. No, I think what you should do is you should start your own podcast. You should do a whole podcast about how wrong our podcast is.
That would be so much endless stuff we could talk about. That'd be awesome.
No, shush.
Oh, sorry. No,
start your own podcast and get on there and you just talk about how great the Bunt is and how responsible they were as
what an institution.
The voice of conversation and skateboarding.
Oh, man.
How solid they were in the way that they treated Cater Silla.
Yes.
And so many other victims of strip mining that are going on.
Yes.
Yeah. You need to start a podcast right away, and you need to bring balance and repair to the force.
I will even help you navigate all of the Spotify bullshit. If
don't help them.
No, dude, I will.
They want to kick your ass.
Yeah, but I'll help them do it, dude, because I don't think they're gonna. And it's really complicated. The Spotify crap, it's actually not that bad at all. It's really easy.
And No, like the answer to speech that you don't like
Is
is to
to
go on there and
talk.
start yourself one of them sweet anti-Christian,
Yeah. Fedora
podcasts.
wearing.
Tip your fedora, get
Dude,
yourself
tip your
going.
fedora, dude.
You set up a nice
Oh, yes.
studio in your mom's basement, grow a neck beard,
Oh, yes,
you
dude.
know.
Set yourself up a shrine to Stephen Hawking.
That's
Yeah, dude.
Did he die?
Did he die?
I don't know.
I hope not, bro.
I don't know.
We were seeded by
I
aliens. That's
feel like
all I
he
know.
might have.
I
He might
hope
have
not,
died.
dude. I really hope not. It's so funny. Are you checking an Amazon delivery right now?
It's that delivery
It's
that
the
went
Edge.
missing. Yeah, may your
Yeah,
Cyber Monday be
come
bright.
on,
Whatever,
man.
dude.
That's so stupid.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Well,
I liked what you said, and I liked what we said. I stand by it.
yeah, we can stand by it. And by the way, we're only a 4-note fiddle.
Yeah, we got like 3 things that we talk about.
Yeah, but that's what a fiddle is. It's got 4
Yeah,
notes.
but it's
I mean,
so
it's got
pretty.
4 strings. We're a 4-string fiddle, so you blame us for not being a guitar.
Yeah.
Or you could shut up.
Yeah, or start your
No,
own.
even better. Don't shut up.
Yeah, keep talking.
Go tell everyone not to listen to us,
Right.
please.
There's so many of
Tell
you.
Barbara Streisand I said hi while you're doing it.
Oh my gosh. You tell the CIA and the DOJ I says hi.
I'll tell you what to do. Grab the most offensive things that we're saying on here.
Yeah.
Clip them.
Yeah.
Put them on TikTok.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What's it called when you do a TikTok and it's showing the screen of the other guy and you're talking about it?
Stitch.
Stitching. Stitch us, dude. And we'll stitch you. We'll go back and forth endlessly.
No, we won't.
Or at least we'll talk about it.
Yeah, we will.
Yeah.
Because that's what we do.
We also don't have the ability to
I'm
stitch.
I'm really not too worried about, what do you call it?
Reprisal. Or,
No, like if you want to say something on your social media about what we're doing on ours, that's legit.
Yeah.
I think that's legit. That's what social media is for.
I don't think people are. I think like the end of it was like 2010. Like it's not really happening right now. The skate scene in Cincinnati is like dead.
Well, I mean, there are plenty of people riding skateboards.
But
In
the
a way,
core
it's
dudes, I think, are
better.
pretty much freaking gone off to drive forklifts and stuff or whatever they're doing.
Good on them.
Yeah.
We are talking about a bygone era, but we're not talking about dynamics that won't reemerge.
Yes.
Nothing's been done to make that difficult to happen again. In fact, it's my suspicion that now that skateboarding is decentralizing, that what you call it, it's easier now for the kind of stuff that we are really hung up about to happen.
You think it's easier?
I don't think that
I think it's
it's
easier,
harder.
but I think it's easier, but it has less impact because the current is not as strong. So more stuff can come in, but it's not gaining traction as it once did. My opinion. Don't know.
Yeah, actually both of the opinions we shared are pretty weak sauce.
Well,
yeah, that's normal.
Such an ideologue. It's pretty normal.
You gotta clip that.
Yeah,
Both of the opinions we just shared are pretty weak sauce.
Yeah. We're on the cutting edge
of being the worst.
Of being the worst. Ah,
that was one of the good things that came out of those troubles. Was I got nicknamed publicly the worst guy in Cincinnati, all caps.
Dude, oh, like
beautiful. I was capitalized each word.
Dude.
Yeah, the
was so
local
sick.
mogul came out and started calling me the worst guy in Cincinnati.
Yeah.
And that tells everyone, how safe or dangerous it is to be associated with anything I do.
Right. All your friends dipped.
All of the people who dip, were they your friends?
Yeah, that's a good question.
I had one rider who has remained a true and faithful lifelong friend.
You talking about me right now?
No.
Okay.
There was a period of time during which the troubles were a bit much for him. We were going to an indoor park, and I had to tell my guys, hey, let's keep an eye on each other.
Yeah.
We don't want a repeat of September 2013.
Right.
And in front of like 4 or 5 riders who were staying the night in from different states, turned to me and said, it'd probably be better if you just stay home. And I said, all right, I will then. And began to seriously understand.
Yeah.
That when one of the best dudes, sweetest dudes on your team is feeling enough danger and enough fear to say, we will eat your food, we will ride your boards. We
Right.
will stay at your house. We will be your company,
Mm-hmm.
but we don't want to have you with us publicly. When a guy like that, who is actually really down,
Yeah.
doesn't know how to handle it any other way, then I recognize that I was operating in a vacuum of people who were acquainted with the degree of character necessary to stand a line in your community. And I was feeding kids to the murderer.
Yeah.
So I actually was more happy than he knew. Later on, he was ashamed that he had done that,
Sure.
and he apologized to me, and it wasn't necessary.
Yeah.
Um,
It's good character development.
for me, it was a reckoning and did lead to the dissolution of my team. 4 years later, I shut down my company while it was still growing,
Hmm.
simply because um, it was growing on content creation,
Yeah.
and I would create content and sell boards in Texas
Yeah.
and Tennessee
Yeah.
and Florida.
Yeah.
And then I would, because the content was Texas, Tennessee, Florida, I'd be on my motorcycle going to those places to really, I love people. But while I'm loving them, I'm also serving a purpose and funding the trip through marketing my business.
Sure.
So that was a great thing, except as orders began to rise, I recognized this is an unsustainable workflow,
Yeah.
not a good business. I prayed about it and I felt like my time was over.
Yeah.
I felt like the Spirit of God was telling me, your time is over. What you've done. When I first started it, I had a sense in the Spirit that it was for a time and then to be laid down. And then it was 2009 through 2019.
Mm-hmm.
I started it in 2008, and mid 2019 I shut it down. But it was 2009 when I resolved to build my own presses, began that process. 2010 I was pressing boards, and like that, 2011 was when I released my first boards into any form of market that there was.
Sure.
That was like 2 or 3 years after the 2008 financial
Debacle. Right.
contraction
Right.
that has been continually wrecking skateboarding.
Yeah.
But I'm very, very happy now that I have a wonderful place to work out my feelings about what's good in skateboarding
Yeah.
with Life Skateboards.
Yeah.
And I love doing the podcast,
Yeah.
and I'm not going to stop this. Also, we should talk about our podcast format,
Oh, sure.
and
Yeah. Yeah.
we should let our listeners know that
Yeah.
um, I I did an episode that's a little bit different,
Yeah.
and we'll be uploading it probably next month
Okay.
in December
You think so?
sometime.
Yeah.
I mean, as
Oh, it's
fast
like
as we
almost
can.
December now. Yeah.
Yeah,
Next month. Yes.
yeah, we'll be. Well, that's weird.
The following month.
Yeah,
Like in a week.
we'll be uploading that, and I'll be doing more episodes
Yeah.
of that type.
Yeah.
And then we'll probably be continuing to mess around with different ways of doing this. I got another set of lav mics.
Oh yeah, they're going your other phone.
They're quite good.
Yeah.
I am quite pleased with them.
Yes.
So we'll see what all
Plays out.
with that.
Yes.
We will.
It would make sense. We're constrained to the iPhone and then trying to figure out how to get from the iPhone onto a computer. We have a way right now, but it's tough if it's on Lew's phone because it has to take 15 minutes to go to a flash drive, then go to me.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Is it easier to get stuff from an iPhone to an Apple laptop?
Yeah, probably an Apple laptop has an AirDrop capability.
It does.
Yeah. I mean, the way that I'm doing it right now works really well. It just takes a second. And
theoretically, though,
hypocritically,
if I had an Apple laptop, a good one,
yeah, like a good one, yeah, it
I
probably
was sitting right there.
Well,
now theoretically,
yeah,
is there a cable that
there
could go
there
and
probably
could
is.
direct the data into the laptop?
There probably is, and also because you have like so much iCloud storage, technically you could upload to iCloud and then it would be downloaded from the cloud onto your computer and then uploaded. It would all work. That would
Because
all
see,
work.
now that's a winner.
It would
And
be
I
a
think
winner.
it comes down to the money that's been sent in by supporters of the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
I think that might simply be the answer. No mixing board,
Yeah.
no crazy mics, just
Yeah.
keep the tech at
Yep.
the level it is.
Yep.
There's a simplicity to our operation that I think we should keep.
Yeah.
But being able to directly
Just shink.
work that way
Yes.
is probably the best way to go.
I mean, when you can stay, obviously, when you can stay within like different brands, you know, like if all of our stuff was Apple, then it would all work a lot more smooth than it is right now.
I mean, if it works a lot more smoothly than it does now,
20% more smooth.
okay,
Right now, we have a great solution. It works really well right
It's-
now. It just is
it's-
time consuming, which is difficult.
the problem is that like where I'd like to wind up is that if I wanted to,
Yeah,
I could sit at this desk,
yeah,
I could do a bulletin out to our people,
yeah,
and I could upload that
yes,
from here.
yes,
Granted, my internet is very slow,
yes,
but the ability to get it from the iPhone
yes,
to a computer, I think an Apple computer is the answer.
yes.
So I think that I am going to find a means by which to purchase an Apple computer. We have about $700
Yeah.
right now.
Unfortunately, like man, if we had like Apple computers are just so expensive.
Well,
Yeah, I don't know. There's ways.
one of the people who have been involved with the podcast at a very small level,
Mhm.
haven't been on camera.
Yeah.
They were like, "Let's get an Apple computer."
And you're like,
And I
okay,
was like, "Well,
do
I
you
don't
have
want to. I don't
$2,000?
want to take money from someone else. But if I have $1,000,
Yeah,
I could put in $1,000 on an Apple computer,
you could.
or we could do one of those give send goes."
Yeah. I mean, here's the other thing too. Right now, you could, you know, do a cast, and then with your little dongle device that you're getting, your little USB flash drive that's going to go into your
Yep, I can
stuff.
go to the gaming laptop that I'm being given.
Yes, or you could probably go to your iPad and use Google, you know, Safari or whatever, and open up the browsers and upload from there. Is it going to be smooth? No, but it may be. I don't know.
I don't like that.
Yeah, me neither.
Now, this question was, would it be smoother?
Yes.
It feels like we arrived at an I don't know
Yes.
answer.
There's a lot of speculation I could give, but until we tried it, I can't give you a technical response that is technically accurate. Technically.
We could start with I don't know.
No, let's just start with I don't know. We could try it out. We could.
We
Yeah.
can't start. We need a time machine.
I don't know, dude. It's fine. This guy.
But
He's such a
sometimes
fucking
we have to go
ideologue.
through the evaluative
Yeah, it's fine.
process.
I was
to
evaluating
figure
verbally to figure out. I bet it'll work though.
out.
I'll say this. I am 72% sure that it will work. Will it work to the standard in which you will not have like a personal freak out up here? No, definitely not. You're gonna have to work through the angst.
Listen, I'm not saying that I did not have a lot of fun the last 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Because I did.
Okay.
I had a lot of fun with
Yeah.
this. What I am going to remark, and you'll have to hear this with as much grace as I can put on it.
I'm not. I
This
won't.
is not a criticism
It
of
is
you.
going to be a critique.
It's not.
Yes, it is.
That's how human beings figure things out.
Yeah.
Whether I'm working on I'll have a technical roofing issue
Okay.
that I know there are correct ways to do this thing I'm doing. I was working a piece of flat roof, and I'm not a rubber roof guy.
Mm-hmm.
I was working this piece of rubber roof.
Yeah.
And there was a distillation of education that was involved with it that actually did culminate in getting some really solid answers.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to this topic that we have,
Mm-hmm.
not just you and me, but everyone has a different set of really pretty a much more sure way of putting it.
Yeah.
Oh, you need to this, you need to that, you
Yeah.
need to this. You need to gets filed with it's easy. You just
right. Yeah.
There's some other ones too.
You need to.
Yeah.
Yes. The point that I'm making is this. You are correct. Ultimately, I don't know, but however, the advice that I'm giving comes with some experience having dealt with the issues that we're dealing with personally at home trying to get this stuff done. The way that I have it working right now does work.
So I'm entertaining a suspicion
Right.
that recording on iPhones is thumbs up.
Yes, agreed. Especially with your new one, it's like red camera quality.
And the lav mic is a thumbs up.
Yes.
We don't need shotgun mics.
Yes.
We don't need a mixer.
Yes.
So since those things could be stable and not mess up the podcast trying to figure out how to use a whole bunch of that stuff either.
Yeah.
I've got a gaming computer that's soon to come to the table.
Okay.
It's got the processing power to do all the stuff.
Yeah.
We can continue to use these little flash drives.
Yes.
Amazon said mine was delivered. It's not here. Normal.
Omicron.
I suspect that an Apple computer might do away with the flash drive. A
Yes.
simple data cable, a lightning data cable might do it,
Mm-hmm.
or a USB-C if we start using my new phone
Yes.
might do the trick
Yes.
and just drop it in.
Yes.
Or I do know that every video I take gets
Mm-hmm.
loaded to my like 3 terabyte cloud account,
Yes.
and then I can pull it down on the computer. It takes 10 minutes for it to drop into the computer because
Yes.
of our bandwidth here is very small.
Yes.
And then
You can
that
upload from the computer.
seems like
Yes.
the way to go. So I might take what we've got
Mm-hmm.
and put it into getting an Apple laptop.
I don't think it's a bad idea.
As long as it's got the right power. The smaller ones, I don't know if they're smaller in power.
I think the app, from what I know,
Mm-hmm.
Apple makes some pretty tremendous products that are designed to do the type of work that we're doing. And I think that they have the necessary RAM and CPU computing power
They
too.
do.
Because really, we're not computing very much. What we need is a computer that's going to upload and download stuff at least effectively, if not efficiently. So, which is really going to depend on your internet. However, getting it onto the computer and saved and then uploading from
That's
there.
all. I know my internet is slow, but
right.
it eventually gets the job done.
Yes.
And if I put something to work an hour and a half before bed and it fouls and I have to restart it, I can check it in the morning, and if it fouled, I can restart it. That's right. I can accept that.
Yes.
Besides, they're running new cable around here, and we're going to get an upgrade.
The freaking gig internet.
We'll get it. So I'm happy.
We'll figure it out.
It's good. Well, for those of you listening, you can send us support through PayPal directly.
Mm-hmm.
The CapmLew podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, when you spell CapmLew, it's CAPM and LEW. We know that won't help.
Or you could just read the name of the podcast.
In all the time we've been doing this, I don't think that I have told people it's called the CapmLew podcast, spelled with an M, or spelled it and I don't think anyone be able to spell it. I have held people's phones in my hands, and I'm not convinced that we picked the worst name for a podcast in all of history. I'm not. I was a little surprised
the vacuum that you just created.
I'm a little surprised that people, since They Might Be Giants wrote a song called "I'm the Captain."
Yeah.
And since Captain has been a way that Captain has been abbreviated for a long time, I actually looked it up recently, and it's fairly unknown.
Yeah.
Yeah. To the credit of our listeners and the people who struggle to spell CapmLew, I didn't know. I did not know that CAPMLEW
brings such confusion.
I didn't know.
Yeah.
And on behalf of Luke, I apologize.
Yeah, because
you should have caught that.
I should have caught that.
Yeah,
right.
I was depending on you.
Yeah, right. Yeah, great, cool. I love working here, by the way. HR is incredible. Yeah, see the garbage can? That's where you put your complaints.
It's a circular file. Yeah. Well, thank you for spending time with us. Those of you who listen all the way to the end, we have a special prize for you. No, we don't.
Right. We lied.
It's a feeling of satisfaction.
Yeah, that you get right now.
Participation in history in the making.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, dude. God help us if we ever get
I don't know how. I don't see any scenario in which this doesn't blow up.
This doesn't blow up?
We're going to be up there with Mr. Beast and Joe Rogan.
Oh gosh, dude.
Even saying that.
No, dude. People are going to know what I look like. Oh no.
Yeah, well, it's fine.
They're going to see my double chin.
Well, I'm going to go skate. You don't have a double chin.
Stop looking at it.
Just keep that keep that neck beard going.
Stop. Stop.
You're
pinning me to the wall with your words.
Well, I'm gonna take my torn rotator cuff and my broken rib.
Be careful. If you would take cold showers, it wouldn't hurt so bad. Bro, I'm telling you, I took one yesterday, and you know what I did? I yelled through it in Ronnie Coleman's voice. I said, "Lightweight, baby!" And then I said things like "pure natural strength," even though he was running so much gear, bro, dude. If you drank his blood, you would be torqued. Like, he was running so much gear. But it helped.
But it helped.
It helped, dude. You just yell in the shower. I hit it head on, like I was
what I just heard,
battle clashing elves and orcs in my heart as I stepped into the cold shower.
Yeah, I'm definitely.
I was like, for Aslan, and just turn that shit on. I'm telling you, bro, you just got to find the warrior within. In my heart, I had a lightsaber. And I got out and I felt warm. And my muscles didn't ache. There's so much there, bro. Did you see my core, like 6-year-old self just expressing itself into the world? I'm telling you, the cold shower is therapeutic, emotionally, physically.
Yeah, we had a listener like, Lou, did you do your cold shower yet?
Fuck no.
And I was like, no, I haven't.
Bro, just one of them. And dude, bro, I didn't even think about this. Your water pressure in the downstairs, oh my gosh, dude, it's like you're getting hit with a freaking, like a pressure washer. And in a cold shower, you would feel so good. It would help your shoulders so much. I'm telling you, all that inflammation would come down. Your knees would feel, everything would feel better. I'm telling you, dude, here's what you do. Listen to me. You get in a hot shower as hot as you can stand and be in
Hot
there
as
for
I
10
can stand
minutes.
it, 10 minutes.
Then put that shit on cold. Don't even think about
Put
it.
it on cold,
Don't
just put
think
it
about
cold.
it. Just flip it
Just
cold
flip
and
it cold.
stand there
Yeah.
and wait until you can feel your body temperature come all the way down. Do it for like 30 seconds just one time.
30 seconds?
Just do it for 30
Bro,
seconds is enough.
nothing.
Yeah.
30
Okay.
seconds is enough?
Dude, wait, you can feel it. The hot water will come off your body.
He's already told me this, and I just never remember it.
Bro,
You're telling me that 30 seconds is enough?
Ice cold in your shower, 30 seconds would be enough. Just to begin. What I do, literally, I'll stand in the shower.
Yeah.
And I just turn it cold and I turn it on. And I don't let myself think about it. I just hit it and go. And then I stand there. And as soon as it hits my body, I do this thing where I jump as if I'm jumping into a pool. I'll jump and I'll go, and then I'll go, lightweight, baby!
Can you write down the things?
Yeah, right.
Let me get a card.
Yeah, right.
I want you to write down.
Yeah.
I'm going to bring these in the shower.
I'm on it. Okay.
So I'm going to use this card until it's destroyed by the water.
Yeah, one go.
Okay, so just write them down. Lightweight, baby.
It's Lite.
Okay, it's fine. Just spell it out the way it is.
All right,
I promise I'll say these things correctly.
Here, get in. And then in parentheses.
And then the second one was all natty?
That's pure. It's pure natural strength. That's what he yells as he's lifting like so much weight, even though he's running so much gear. It's so funny. It's just pure natural strength.
Pure natural strength. Okay.
Don't be afraid.
So at what point where do I get the gear?
Dude, don't. No, bad.
Lou Ross on gear.
Dude, bro, you would feel so much. People feel amazing on gear. I think it's cheating. I don't do gear, but
I think I'm fighting off a fever. I got chilled yesterday.
A cold shower would help that too.
Uh-huh.
Dude, I'm telling you, it heats up your body temperature. Get out in the sun, dude. It's some Andrew Huberman crap.
Andrew Huberman intimidates me.
Dude, I'm telling you, it's because you set your expectations so low. It's because deep down inside your soul is broken, bro. That's why, like, doing the brakes on your car, it turns into this, like, just this
catharsis.
Dude, it's not catharsis, dude.
It is the pouring out.
It is the pouring out. Yes.
That's catharsis, is the pouring out.
I wish the listeners could have seen us change your fuel pump in the Suburban.
Bro, you made that so
easy. And the
easy.
freedom that you had when we finally did it.
I did drop that. I dropped that gas tank twice myself.
Yes.
And I forget which injury I was dealing with at the time. I was injured at the time. What was it? I think it was tennis elbow.
No, I think it wasn't it rib deal.
Maybe it was broken ribs. I think I was coming that winter. I had broken ribs. It's true. I went to Texas and I couldn't sit on couches. I had to lay on the ground and let my ribs spread out.
Oh.
And every time I would lay down, I would go. Every time I got up, I would go. This present broken rib I've got is actually, it's my sternum.
Dude, you didn't break your sternum.
I have either deep bone bruised or a fracture in my sternum. We'll know in 8 weeks, because if in 8 weeks it hurts like it hurt at 2 weeks, then it was broken, but it's knit, cracked. Ribs crack. If your ribs break, you have a lot more wrong with you.
Dude, God help you if your ribs break.
Yeah,
bro.
we're talking about non-displaced fractures here.
Yes.
Otherwise, this is an injury of the intercostal fascia.
Stop, dude.
Yes.
Intercostal?
Intercostal fascia. So let's see what you got so far.
Of holding.
This is quite a list.
Well, you said write a list.
I know, and it's a good one. You should be like, wrong. It's a list that's from Series of Unfortunate
Hold on,
Events.
dude.
The one where Patrick...
Patrick.
Neil Patrick Harris.
Dude,
See the actor?
Jim Carrey did a better one.
No, I'm Neil
Yes.
Patrick all the way, my guy. All right, here's the list. 1, get in. Oh, you have put periods behind each number and a parentheses.
To help it pop.
All right, get in, parentheses. Don't be afraid, end parentheses.
That's half the battle.
2, turn on cold water. 3, yell things like lightweight baby and pure natural strength. I think I will turn to the common slogans of the Jocko Willink
You could.
and the David Goggins lane
Yes,
to get
right.
mine.
Who's
Maybe I'll
gonna-
put one of them spoken word segments from Joe Rogan.
Yeah, who's gonna carry the boats, Lou?
4th, stay in for 60 seconds. That's nothing. 5, turn the water off. 6, feel the power of holding a lightsaber in your heart.
You'd feel better. You'd feel amazing, dude.
I never don't feel the power of holding a lightsaber in my heart because I ride life skateboards.
Oh my gosh, dude.
Oh, yes, and you too. Know the feeling.
Oh, I did just sit up the sickest 9-inch popsicle that Sam gave me.
I'm saying, did you
14.5
ride it yet?
No, but I want to. Maybe tomorrow.
What kind of grip job did you do?
I always just do one speed stripe down the middle of it.
Racing
That's why I like it.
stripes.
I like one racing stripe down the middle. That's pretty much it. I'm not like one of those guys, you know.
I back it.
That's fine.
I breed them. All right.
I breed them.
So, what did we did it?
Yeah, we did it.
This was an episode
We
of the
did it.
CapmLew podcast.
We did
Once
it.
again, you have sat through this strange amalgam
The cacophony.
of snark and faith.
What's the word? Oh, a maelstrom.
Maelstrom,
Maelstrom.
which I feel like is Norse for metal storm, but I doubt it.
Metal storm. How do those even happen?
Well, first of all, I don't know that there's such a thing as a metal storm.
No, I'm talking about the maelstrom. Those are the whirlpools, like in the middle of the ocean.
I know.
What the fuck?
You know there.
Hold on, I'm feeling so much fear right now.
I think I know what it is.
Do you think the tectonic plate?
Yes, I do.
Oh, that's so cool, dude.
I think that it's plate shift and it opens up a void.
Oh,
Billions of
dude.
gallons. Billions of gallons.
Have you watched that YouTube video about the dudes who they were drilling a hole in the middle of the lake to try to hit gas, and they hit the mine and the entire lake drained. Fuck that, dude. I was terrified.
Well,
just watching the video.
Wasn't there like a house that got kind of sucked in or toward it?
Bro!
Listen, man. People don't appreciate these things happen. It's okay.
Like, you thought you were scared of drowning. Would you be even more terrified of drowning if you got sucked into a whirlpool?
It's not even like on gear. It's like on all of the stimulants plus Thor's hammer,
dude,
and Odin's raven.
I think, what's that fear when like people can't look at the drain in a swimming pool? I don't have that, but it's similar. Like, that's just terrifying to think about. Sucked in. All right, anyway.
People do get sucked onto drains.
Stop, dude.
Dude,
I don't like that. Or like a dam, like being next to a dam in a lake. That's scary for me.
Yes.
Anyway,
those are because the potential energy that's present. Well, if we look at Grindavik.
I don't know what that means.
Iceland, presently, it's that town that the crack ran through, and it's got magma flow going on in Iceland right now.
Oh, is that a thing?
It's been big news
Poor
lately.
guys. Okay.
Yeah, Grindavik has been in real.
Language.
Oh man, they've evacuated. They're very orderly in Iceland.
Yeah, they're like, all right, everybody line up.
They did good. They
Good
took
for
care.
them,
They take
dude.
care of each other. I think something. I don't know. As long as you're not uppity and you don't think you're better than other people, Iceland's got your back.
I'm still just so terrified of that story. I just scared myself.
About the drain in the swimming pool?
No, dude, about an entire lake draining like 1,500 feet underground, bro. It's like falling into a black hole.
You need to get some help.
Dude. Yeah, dude.
Luke,
yeah.
I'm not saying...
I need to take a cold shower.
I'm not saying it's not real. I'm saying it's not here.
Yeah, I know, dude. I know. The uncontrolled fear. All right, it's fine.
Listen,
I'm
we here at the CapmLew podcast would like to congratulate you on starting the CapmLew podcast, opponent podcast that you're going to start one day.
Yeah, let me know if you need help.
Yeah, well, I mean,
I will. I literally would, dude.
would you have time for that, dude?
No, but
You
I would
don't even
like.
have-
I would write out some. I would write out some
Oh, you'd
lists
make a
like
list.
this.
Wrong.
Yeah.
It's a list.
It's
So
fine.
Neil
Anyway,
Patrick Harris, man, he was the best Count Olaf.
dude, I'm telling
Prove
you,
me
Jim
wrong.
Carrey was way better, dude.
Why?
Because I read the
How?
books like 1,000 times, and I know he portrayed the character, the chaotic evil of Count Olaf so well.
Have you watched the Neil Patrick Harris one?
No, I don't need to. I've already set my opinion. Nobody can change it.
You haven't?
I really haven't. I probably should watch it. Is it good?
Can you guys believe what I'm dealing with over here?
Do you not care about anything?
Do you see that?
In my
Do you
heart,
care
all
about-
day at work, that's what I hear. Do you not care about anything? I'm like, I do care.
What,
I
you
just
hear
don't have
me?
the energy. Yeah, you and my.
Stop. Get some help.
I'm at my therapist like, it's happening
Dude,
again.
it's
I just
not
hear his
healthy,
voice.
bro.
No, I really don't.
need
But
to
it is so funny
definitely
when you say that.
kick people like that out of your head, even if they're mean.
Dude, when you say that, I laugh so hard because you really, I like can tell that you really mean it. It's like a heart cry.
I
you
have
know,
a
like.
It's just, I feel like somebody left a comment that was like, I'm glad you worked read a book into your podcast.
That was the illustrious BL.
Was that Bob Lofton?
Oh yeah, it
Oh,
was,
God
dude.
bless him. Bob is, yeah, seriously.
Man of culture.
Hats.
Yeah,
Hats off.
just a man of culture.
Young at heart, Bob.
All right, we gotta come on.
We're out of here.
All right,
Hey, for what it's worth.
laters.
Hit the button. Do the button.